Hello everybody, Maven here, and my face cam doesn't match what I'm saying because I didn't have the time to use a face cam today. So ever since the conception of bows, hot swapping in Crucible has been a fringe cheesy thing to do, and every Crucible player enjoys a fine cheese every now and then, and for me that's bow hot swapping. And as you can tell by my kill trackers here, I've been a big fan of Monarque hot swapping for a long time and used this setup to go flawless in trials many times. But ever since the Monarque nerf, you can no longer kill with the Monarque crit and a hand cannon body shot. So ever since the nerf, I put this combo down for good. And for the longest time, this is what I believed to be the strongest bow hot swapping setup, but now it is officially killed. But another bow cheese that I covered on my channel a year ago was this setup here. You run a precision frame bow with Ariana's Vow with the Dragon Shadow. So the plan is that you dodge so that your Dragon Shadow maxes out your handling so you can swap from your bow to your Ariana's very quickly. And that allows you to get a ridiculously unfair TTK. And if you proc death at first glance on the Ariana's Vow, which you can easily do because the Dragon Shadow maxes out your handling, you can even body with the bow and the Vow. It's extremely broken, and this is still a thing you can do to this day, except it's definitely a more skillful and punishing build because if you miss your Ariana shot, you basically lose the gunfight. And if you watch Hinra's YouTube channel, which by the way, Hinra is the best bow player in the world, he will sometimes hot swap with a Judgment of Kelgarath or a grenade launcher. But again, these are more skillful things to do. But for today's video, I am pretty positive I have found the new best broken bow hot swapping combo. And this requires two perks that most people don't like, but just hear me out. So you're going to need to craft the perk Gutshot Straight onto a Raconteur bow because it ups your ADS body shot damage from 101 to 121. So you pair that along with the 120 RPM hand cannon such as an Igneous Hammer that does 80 damage to the crit, and that is perfectly just over 200 damage. And Guardians with tier 10 resilience in Crucible have 200 health. So that's enough to pick up the kill by hitting a body shot with the bow and a crit with the hand cannon. And this is something that no other bow can do because without gut shot, they hit 101 to the body. Plus 120 RPM hand cannons deal enough body shot damage so that you can crit with the bow and body with the hand cannon to pick up the kill as well. So this is why this is the most forgiving hot swap build on the block right now, and this is why I feel it is the best hot swapping setup. Now as for the Igneous roll that you'll want, if you happen to have an old one with quick draw snapshot, great. But if you only have access to the new Igneous, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to want Slick Draw. So Slick Draw is going to grant us 100 handling, which is perfect for a hot swapping build because the whole point of a hot swapping build is speed. It's cheese. You want to get to that hand cannon as quickly as you can to clean up that kill. However, it comes at the cost of negative 55% aim assist. However, we can try to remedy this with Opening Shot that grants us plus 25 range and plus 20 aim assist. Adept targeting gives us 10 aim assist, and then a targeting mod on our helmet gives us another 5 aim assist, coming in at a bonus of 35 aim assist. So we're only at a deficit of 20 aim assist for the trade-off of having 100 handling. And for this build, for hot swapping, that is worth it. And for my Raconteur roll, I got Elastic String with the Draw Time Masterwork to max out that draw time, and then I got Compact Arrow Shaft with Enhanced Surplus to try to max out my handling. I even got Stasis Dexterity. We don't have to worry about the dexterity of our hand cannon because Slick Draw already maxes it out, so we just need all the dexterity we can get for our bow. Now you may be wondering why I'm on Strand Hunter, and no, this is not because this is my main PvP subclass that I use. It's for two big reasons, and that is because of the Threadling Grenade or the Grapple, whichever you prefer, and most importantly, the Threaded Spike. So the Threaded Spike deals 80 damage, allowing you just enough damage after a Raconteur gut shot body shot to pick up the kill on 100 resilience Guardians. So this is another big cheesy thing to do. So this is just absolutely perfect, and the stars align for this to be broken with the Raconteur gut shot bow. And next, the Strand Grenades pair very well with a bow, and I'll show you why. So when I see red on my radar, I can just throw out my Threadling babies and they're just going to track towards the target so I know where they are. And they're going to deal enough chip damage so that you can one-tap them with your bow, either to the head or the body. And then if you are a good enough PvP player, you can pair a bow with Grapple because you can do this. And yeah, it's flashy, it's strong, but personally I find it very situational and risky to go for, so that's why I prefer the threadling grenades. Now the last thing to point out about this build are the Oathkeepers, because it means that your bow will always have a perfect draw, so you're always getting max damage out of your shots. Plus it allows for aerial plays because it essentially maxes out the airborne effectiveness of your bows, allowing you the freest cross-map jump shots in the world. As an avid Oathkeeper player, I would recommend getting used to jumping a lot, and I mean a lot. It is one of your main strengths as an Oathkeeper user. So this is the combo and this is the build. You know how it works, and I'm telling you right now, it's absolutely broken despite using perks like Slick Draw and Gut Shot that don't seem broken. Now let's roll some gameplay highlights while I break down the rest of the build. So I wanted to start off the gameplay with this hilarious clip I got in Rusted Lands. I joined this game late. It was already at like 40 something points, and I just hop in here and terrorize the lobby with my cheese, just insta-killing everybody. And yeah, I know at times it looks like my aim is off. I understand that happens sometimes. But anyways, watching this clip back just looks so annoying. Like I'm probably just horribly annoying to play against, and I understand that. You know, you don't play a bow Hotswapping build if you have dignity. There is no dignity to be found. You do this shamelessly. And just as a warning, in my experience of playing, you know, Monarque Hotswapping for so long, you will get teabagged a lot. And if you have whispers on, best believe you're gonna get hate mail. It's just gonna happen when you play a build like this. Now let's get to breaking down the rest of the build, starting with the subclass here. We got Widow Silk Aspect to give us another threadling grenade, and then we got Threaded Spectre paired along with the Gambler's Dodge. So the whole point is you're gonna get close to the enemy, you know, slide around a corner, get close to the red on your radar, and you're gonna throw out that Threaded Spectre and dodge backwards to proc that Gambler's Dodge and get your Threaded Spike back, because you know the Threaded Spike is part of your cheesy combo. And also putting up that Threaded Spectre is a nice little tool to help counteract the apes, because you know, as a bow Hotswapping build, you gotta have a way to defend yourself against the apes. And just another little note about that Threaded Spike melee ability is that when you do your aerial plays and you're trying to Hotswap in the air, it's best if you use your spike if you have it rather than swapping your hand cannon, because you know you don't have Icarus grip on your hand cannon. So obviously prioritize the spike when you jump in the air. So anyways, for our fragments here, we got Thread of Ascent because it's just such a good thing to do. Gives you a bunch of handling and airborne effectiveness. We got Thread of Transmutation that's literally there just for the plus 10 strength. We got Thread of Evolution to increase our threadling damage. That's good with our Threaded Spectre and our threadling grenade. And then Thread of Generation to give us some grenade energy whenever we deal damage. Now for our mod setup here, we have kind of a setup to help us spam our abilities more, because we have Bomber and Outreach to get some ability energy back whenever we dodge, along with double kickstarts. We got Utility Kickstart as well as Melee Kickstart. Now you don't technically need Stasis Dexterity for your bow because you're already pretty fast as it is with that enhanced surplus. So if you wanted to run Grenade Kickstart, I don't blame you, but I got the Dexterity just for the consistency of the build. Now just because I had a little bit of extra energy, I threw on Fastball, but I don't actually know if this does anything with the threadling grenades, but let me know in the comments down below if it does. I haven't really ever tested that. So moving on, we got the standard just targeting and unflinching mods for both of our weapons. I had a tiny bit of extra energy on the helmet, so I threw on Powerful Friends for the heck of it. Now here is where the magic happens. This is a very important step. Triple Solar Holster on the boots. It's because you are continually pulling out your hand cannon every few seconds to fire off a shot. You just keep on quick swapping and then stowing your hand cannon immediately. So with Triple Solar Holster, it makes it so like every second and a half or a second and a third while your hand cannon is stowed, it loads a bullet back in, because having to reload your hand cannon can really slow down your gameplay. So Triple Solar Holster is very nice to have. Now for my stats setup here, I got 100 mobility and strength. I knew that that's what I wanted because the threaded spike is just so important to the cheese. And then I went with as much recovery as I could, which was 7, while trying to also invest a good amount into discipline, which was 7, because the threadling grenades are also very good along with the bow. And then you should always maintain a minimum of 3 intellect and crucible at all times. And then I got 2 resilience so that I survived 2 head and 1 body from a 140 RPM hand cannon. And that is pretty much the entire build broken down. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna be one of my new main builds that I use to cheese my way to the Lighthouse and Trials. And I know it's a scummy thing to do, but so is PK, SMG, Cloud Strike, Overshield, Void, or Arc Titan, which is arguably even more toxic. Now, if I have any advice or tips for this build, I would say just get used to jumping a lot. And don't be a PvE scrub and put on triple jump. No, strafe jump is the PvP jump. So put on strafe jump, get used to jumping, hit those aerial bow shots from across the map because that's very good for cleanups. and also just very good for being unpredictable. But you still want to kind of follow the traditional rules of a bow build and like have cover all the time. Don't be a bot. Don't get caught out in the open. You always want to have those peak shots on deck despite having an instant TTK, because you know you're in some situations you're not going to hit that, or you know maybe you might miss. So you got to still treat it like a normal bow build sometimes. And don't let the toxic people out there tell you that bow hot swapping builds take 0 skill, because there's definitely some skills to be learned, and once you master it, it can be extremely effective and really help you go flawless in trials. So as always, I'll leave a dim loadout link to this build down below in the description and the pinned comment if you'd like to give it a try. And if you got any buddies out there who are hunter mains or bow mains, I'd appreciate if you share the video with them. I'm sure they find it useful as well. And just like I did in last week's PvP video, as we approach the end of the video, I'll show some of the end screens from the games that we had in the background gameplay, just to show how hard this build slays out, despite the fact that this was skill-based matchmaking. It's ridiculous. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment, because interacting with the video like that really helps out the algorithm. So I'd appreciate it if you click something. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.